Do you know that walking in the woods, even for as little as 15 minutes at a time, can make you happier and healthier? The science supports what we instinctively know. Being in the forest is good for us. Yet some women skip the trip to the woods because they're not comfortable walking alone. Today we'll meet a New Jersey woman who has turned that around for thousands with the click of a mouse. That's all up next on Still Time for Joy, where we share practical advice for weathering life's storms and inspiring stories of resilience. Hello, I'm Sandra Levine, host of Still Time for Joy. My guest today is Alexis Liastro, who founded the Facebook group Ladies Only New Jersey Hiking Group in 2020. Welcome to the show, Alexis.
Thank you, Sandy. Thank you for having me here, and thank you for taking note of my group and wanting to do this podcast.
You are most welcome, and we're going to talk about your group in just a few minutes. But first, I want to start with the joy of being outdoors. This show is all about reconnecting to joy. What does being outdoors mean to you?
Being outdoors is one of probably the most natural, joyful experiences for me as somebody who loves nature. So it's not even just the hiking experience, it's just being out in nature. I find it very grounding, very invigorating. It just helps me to get centered, clear my mind. I just love being out in nature. I feel very connected to myself at the best, at the highest.
And there are many benefits to being out in nature and hiking, especially. It can lower your blood pressure, it can boost your immune system, and it's just an experience that can awaken all of your senses. Tell me, when you're hiking, what do you notice?
So for me, I love the seeing nature. So whether it be the flowers, I mean, in the springtime, just the bloom and the colors. Also, I always take notice when I'm trail running, the smells. So I always pick up like on honeysuckle in the springtime, and it can't help but put a smile on your face and make you feel good. So I just love the beauty aspect. Even just like when you see the trees, everything is in full bloom, it's green, it's lush. There's ravines and waterfalls. I mean, just the aesthetic of nature is just so fulfilling for me.
Many people have the mistaken idea that New Jersey is just industrial and there's nothing beautiful about it. That couldn't be further from the truth. What are some of the most beautiful spots in New Jersey where you've been hiking?
I personally think Northwest New Jersey has some really beautiful spots. So when we're talking about like Morristown area, even if you go up to the Delaware Water Gap, areas out that way have beautiful, beautiful hiking grounds.
So a lot of times the women in the group are looking for some elevation. They want to really get some exercise, right? So that's the best place in New Jersey to do that.
I would say so, yeah. It's not as flat as if you're heading towards South Jersey. Yeah, north and northwest, certainly.
So in October 2020, you started a Facebook group, Ladies Only New Jersey Hiking Group. What made you decide to start the group?
As I was on Facebook on another hiking group page, and it was not just for women only, it was both men and women. I was on a thread, and a woman was talking about wanting to go on a hike, but she didn't want to go with a man. So she was looking for a buddy. Several people had offered, but she didn't want to go with a man who had expressed interest in wanting to go with her. And that was kind of like the moment that I saw that there was a need for women to buddy with other women. And literally, it was right after I had seen that comment, I decided to start the page, and it just took off from there. So I really did it as a means for women to find other women to hike with when they were alone and they didn't have other people to hike with.
Yeah, and sometimes women feel very uncomfortable hiking alone or with, when you said another man, this is a stranger online that she didn't know. Do you see that in the comments on your Facebook group that women are often banding together because they're just not comfortable hiking alone?
Yes, very much so. That is the biggest concern. Whether it even, is a man or not, the concern is of being alone. So yes, yeah, I think people just feel more comfortable when they're in the company of another person, man or woman. But it appears that for women, we prefer to be, if it's going to be a stranger, it's preferable to be with a female stranger as opposed to a male stranger.
And I told you when we spoke on the phone, as a child, I had a bad experience in the woods with some boys chasing me and a girlfriend. We were just walking in woods near my house, and it's had a lifelong effect on me. It's made me a little cautious about being out in the woods. I love going out with someone else, but I'm just not crazy about being in the woods by myself. So I signed up for your Facebook group, Alexis.
I love that.
So, beyond making women feel more comfortable by buddying up with another woman, what has this group done for women in helping them form community?
Well, that is probably one of the bigger takeaways than just the buddy system, that a lot of friendships have been formed through this group, because I see people commenting and saying that they've made these friendships. They're very happy for this group. It seems very positive. That is my greatest focus with this group, is to make it a safe haven, a very positive community of like-minded women. But yeah, it certainly seems that friendships have been the bigger takeaway, and that women are empowering other women. I certainly want to see that happen more, as well as we are supporting and helping one another. So I'm happy to see that all the better qualities are coming out with this group.
So, in addition to women going hiking together, you're seeing that they're meeting in other ways. They're going out to dinner, they're becoming real friends with one another, which is awesome. But how exactly does the group work?
So anybody can request to join. I don't have any specific filters where you have to have a questionnaire or anything of that sort. So it is open to everybody. Anybody can also create an event. We encourage everybody to create an event. Some people think they have to request permission. I have no sort of, again, filters of that nature where they have to request um, permission to do these things. So even if it's something about meeting up for dinner after a hike or whatever the case may be, because I've seen people do events just to get the group together, because again, now people have formed friendships.
So, for people who've never done this, when you say they create an event, just get into that in a little more detail.
So you would go to a place on the page where it says event. It's in the toolbar on the top. And there's all kinds of specific details. You would title it, you can add a picture, you would give the time parameters, a start and an end, the location, and then you could list specific details in like the notes, the description. Because some people do want you to be very specific when it comes to hikes. They want to know, the type of pace it is. Is this hard? Is this easy? Is there going to be inclines? Where's the parking? So these kind of things do come up with the hiking that, people want to know. If it's somewhere they've never been, they want the specifics. So you can get as general or as specific as you want.
You've been on some amazing hikes beyond New Jersey. What are some of the favorite hikes you've ever been on? And I also want to mention you work in New York City. So, how does that go along with being somebody who loves to be out in nature all the time?
Oh my goodness. So yes, I've been working in New York City for the last 12 years. And it is a very stressful, this commute is stressful rather, and the work can be stressful as well. So I certainly have that need on the weekends when I can to get out into nature, to offload, whether that's hiking or trail running, going into botanical garden, wherever it may be. One of my most favorite experiences, I did a 3-day backpacking hiking trip through REI to the White Mountains in New Hampshire. And that was astounding. It was absolutely wonderful. I've never done backpacking. We stayed in huts. So it was a true wilderness experience. And it was just beautiful. And that also, they really preserve the Appalachian Mountains. So they really encourage you to keep it clean and, leave no trace, leave no mark. So the nature that you see around you is very much intact because they focus on preserving things. So that was just a really wonderful, cool experience. Also very informative because the guides were telling us about the nature all around us. It was wonderful.
So you formed your group less than 5 years ago. It's really just a little over 4 years old, and you have nearly 25,000 members. I think that's pretty remarkable.
Thank you.
And it's encouraging women to get out and exercise. It's encouraging women to be out in nature. It's helping women form new friendships. What do you think about what you've accomplished, Alexis?
I'm very humbled by it every day, and I truly mean that because it was just something that came as an inspiration to start with. I never thought it would grow this big, and I'm very proud. I'm very, very proud to have cultivated such a positive community of women, and that makes me feel good. It makes me feel like I'm doing something positive out in this world, that I'm helping to form alliances, help people to network. Sandy, we would have never had met each other if it wasn't for this group. So I am extremely grateful. I treat it like my baby. I will forever have my hands in it to some extent, even though I do have two other moderators. So I'm very grateful that it has grown to the extent, because that also, to me, is a direct indication that people want to be here, that they see it as beneficial to them as well. And they see it as a healthy and positive environment for them as well.
And there are similar groups to find hiking partners all over the country and even all over the world. So if you're not in New Jersey, don't worry. You can find a group to fit your needs online. Well, Alexis Liastro, founder of Ladies Only New Jersey Hiking Group, thank you for helping so many women find more joy out in nature. And thank you for being on the show today.
Sandy, thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
If you found today's show helpful, please share the information with someone who needs it, and follow Still Time for Joy for more practical tips on weathering life's storms, as well as inspiring stories of people who have turned their pain into purpose. Please consider supporting the work that goes into producing the show on Patreon. Follow Sandra Levine Productions on Facebook and YouTube, and learn more at sandralevine.com.